Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Awkward Aquarians Review.
Today we are here with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, episode 9. I don't know why I never remember the number of the episode, but I think it's 9. The puppet show.
Bear, 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 bear. And that is the best part of this episode, is the awesome intro.
It's one of those episodes that I don't like, but I don't dislike, It's and I know I know, the opposite of like is dislike, but I do think there's a thin little layer between liking and disliking something. It's sort of that just sort of neutral area. And that's where I am with this episode.
I didn't like it. I felt like the puppet was super sexist and weirdly hitting on people.
I thought he was creepy. Yeah, he was creepy.
Just creepy.
I didn't like how they did the puppet. I think they could have, I don't know, just made him. I just didn't like how he was like he seemed like an old man hitting on
high schoolers.
Yeah.
It was like.
Yeah. I mean, they could have made it where very sus. Like because maybe, I don't know how old he was supposed to be because they never told us. And maybe if he was supposed to be turned into a puppet when he was like in his like early 20s or something, but they made him sound like a 40 or 50-year-old man.
80 years old.
Yeah. I come from old time, man. Da, 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 da. Like, ooh, gross. Like, you sound like you're like a 50-year-old from a 1920s gangster movie. What's going on here?
No.
Gross. Go hit on the teachers. Don't hit on the high school girls.
Yes, hit on the teacher.
Yeah, I did not like that. I thought it was gross.
Because it was.
But I kind of liked the whole like talent show aspect, which is where we open up. We open up with Giles sitting in the auditorium, like watching the kids do their talent on stage because there's going to be a talent show. And I kind of liked that. I don't know why they did. I never
had talent shows at my high school.
We had one, I remember, because I had a friend, like our mutual friend, who tried to talk me into joining cheerleading, also tried to talk me into going into the talent show. And as dancing, I was like, I am not dancing on my own volition for a talent show. Like, there's no way. Because I was on stage a lot more than I wanted to be in high school. Honestly, it was from groups and stuff that I was in where we would you'd have to put on a performance on stage, and every time I would like shatter and curl into a little ball inside. I don't want to be on stage. I don't want to be looked at. It was the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I was actually in dance, and we would put on performances, and it was very intense.
Yeah, I remember that one time you were in dance, and you told me, because you tried really hard, but then they made you like a monkey or something. Like you had to play
one of the dances. Yeah, they made me a monkey. I was like, thanks.
Thanks so much. This is what you think of me.
That's what happens when the popular girl gets to pick the parts.
They make you the monkey. You can just like monkey across the stage and be done with you. You're off chasing coconuts somewhere for the rest of the performance.
Let's make the smart one an ape.
I remember we did a performance because I was in dance as well in high school, and we did a performance to Mambo No. 5. I was up on the stage, and you know those pants that they open up with the buttons, like boom. I was wearing those, and there was this part where you had to be like kneeling on the floor, and one of the girls who I was dancing with accidentally like kneeled on my pants, and it opened up while I was on stage. Like, luckily not all the way, just like up to like my thigh, which was, when you're 16 years old, enough to be horrifying. But the show must go on. I was just dancing with my little open flap. This is why I hate performing. But yeah, so that was my experiences on stage. And yours. You were a monkey and I was flashing people. So
naked. Although when me and you were in dance together,
that was fun.
That was super fun. But also when we performed, we were doing really good, and then we opened up and then we saw the audience and we both like looked at each other and just blanked. Just blanked.
Yeah.
Because we were like dancing and then we went like this. And then it was like we looked at each other and
I saw how many people there were there. Because somehow in my mind there was no one there. Like I was like la la la, tango, tango, mambo, cha-cha. And then woof, open up. And there is just this full auditorium of people staring at you. And both of us just like curtains drawn at the same time, like
deer in headlights. I'm just like,
but we pulled it out. We might not have been doing the dances we were supposed to be doing, but we kept dancing. Whatever happened, we kept
cha-cha-cha.
Just move along.
It's so funny we both went blank together, because if it had been only one, the other one could have helped the other one remember. But no, we both just simultaneously flatlined.
And I think it's the best thing in the world that my dad was there with his camera, because there's literally like consecutive pictures of us in every stage, like doing our dance, keeping up with the class, and then right at the moment when we turn and our faces are like and then the next picture is us just like laughing and doing a dance that does not match with the rest of the people up there. Like,
I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
I think it was funny that we were put together too, because there weren't enough guys in the class, so we like paired up together to dance.
Yeah.
So
memories. La, da, 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 da.
So those are our experiences being on stage.
On stage for talent shows and such.
Oh, Lord. But yeah, so in the puppet show, that's how it opens. They're, getting ready for a talent show, and Giles is there looking miserable, and it's kind of funny. It's delightful, because I'd be the same way. And in walk Buffy and Xander and Willow, and they're kind of mocking Giles and how he's been forced to basically, take charge at this talent show. And as they're getting ready to leave, we meet Snyder, Principal Snyder, who has taken over for the Eton Flutie. And he's so nasty and mean, and I kind of love it. He was just like the perfect, just bad principal,
Yeah, you're talking about Quark from Deep Space Nine, right?
Yeah.
I always see him like that. I'm like, oh, if Quark was a human. That's who he is.
Yeah, I love Snyder, especially in like the earlier episodes where he's just seems to hate everyone in general, not just Buffy, but like everyone.
He's just ornery. He's like the principal from Back to the Future.
Yeah, just ornery, and it's I like it. But he basically forces Buffy and Xander and Willow to take part in this talent show. And they don't want to, obviously. But so they're sitting there with Giles watching as well. And then you see this kid with this puppet. And I hate puppets. I hate puppets so much. They're one of like my big fears. Them and clowns and dolls with the dead eyes that look like they're going to drag your soul to hell. I hate them.
I am in that same exact boat. Any of those, I will not have anything in my room or near my room or in the hallway or anywhere. Not in my house. I will not have green eggs and ham. Like, not here, not there, not anywhere.
Not there, not anywhere. Yeah, no, I can't stand any of those things. I think the clown thing comes from us seeing it far too young as children.
Yeah, in like elementary school.
Yeah, like really, really young, like really young. I
On to
watched it.
little
My
kids.
grandma
That's yeah.
actually showed it to me. I think it was like 4. We were watching it together.
I
So
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Little
Scarred.
puppet.
We were scarred.
Yeah, scarred for life.
Scarred for life. Still have to sleep with the light on.
I do. I sleep with my twinkle lights on. So
yeah, I have twinkle lights too. If the room is completely black, I'm like, what's this? What's this? There's darkness everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah. No.
I can't sleep in like pitch black. It's just too creepy.
It is. Yeah. It
Yeah,
is.
I don't like it.
Horror movies as a young girl, I think, because
Mhm.
everything's out to get me. There are things under my bed and in my closet. I know it. Yeah. So, and Buffy's kind of like us, where she's like, "Ew, a puppet." You know, she's like, "Oh, they give me the Wiggins or whatever." And then Willow, because Buffy's like, ever since I was a little kid. She's like, ever since I was a little kid. And Willow's like, oh, what happened? As if something has to happen to be creeped out by puppets. But Buffy was like, no, I saw one as a kid and it gave me the Wiggins. That's like pretty much the story. That's where it ends. And in my head, it's like, yeah, that's enough. To just see one as a kid. Like, that's enough. So automatically you see this puppet and you just know, like, oh, this puppet's not right. Like, he's creepy. He's up to something. And then as they're like getting ready for the play, they're sitting there on the stage, and this is where we get the first like icky, creepy puppet moment, because they're sitting there and the puppet and the human who he's with, I forget his name, are sitting there, and then the puppet starts making like really like inappropriate comments towards Willow, and it's just gross. Like, it's gross. It's like, who is this? Yeah, like 80-year-old puppet like hitting on this 16-year-old. So yeah, it just shows right away that he's a creepy puppet. Of course, you're not supposed to know that it's like the puppet. It's like, ooh, maybe it's the boy, but you're watching. You're like, no, we're watching.
This is
watching
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know, if there's a puppet, it's gonna be possessed. Like,
yeah, it's the puppet. Like, so. Yeah, that happens. And then one of the performers, a girl, she ends up getting killed and her heart's taken out. And they, I forget what happens next. Like, they think, like, at first they're like, oh, this could be a human thing. And then Buffy is the one who points out, this is Sunnydale. When is it ever just a human thing? You know, like, this is probably monsters. So they do a little research. I can't really remember what happened. Like, a lot of this episode is just like not in my brain. I just remember the puppet. But Buffy's investigating. Like, she's investigating and trying to figure out, you know, what exactly is going on. And the puppet and the boy, mainly the puppet, I don't know if we see the boy, they see her investigating. So they know, oh, she's up to something. Like, she's not just a normal teenage kid. Like, because they also see her basically punch through a locker with just like her strength, and a normal teenage girl can just be like poof. So, which is something that we notice is the inconsistency with Buffy's strength. Like, she can punch through a locker, and then on another episode she has trouble shutting like a metal door, and it's like the first episode. That is something that I think they are kind of inconsistent with in the Buffy universe. Yeah, like, how strong is she? Yeah, exactly. What can she do or not do? Because, you know, you'll see her like throw a vampire across the room or something, and then I think it was the first episode too, where they were in the sewer and she was trying to get out, and like the vampire grabs her ankle, and she's just like, Xander, you know. Xander was holding her, and she's like, pull, Xander, pull. Like, Buffy, no, like, are you kidding? Kick him in the face. You can punch through walls. Like, just, kick him or just pull your foot out, you know? Like, yeah. It seems that is an inconsistency. It seems like whatever the scene calls for is what they give us. Like, oh, we need her to have trouble doing this now, or we need to, you know, whatever. But yeah, so the puppet sees her, and then he that night he goes and attacks her. She doesn't really see, like, she doesn't see that it's him, but because it's dark and it's like nighttime and she's going to bed, but she kind of knows it's him. Like, she knew it was something small and it like ran away and everything. So the next day she tells the rest of the group, I think Sid was in my room last night and attacked me. And they don't believe her. They're like, oh,
she would make that up, but that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like she would she would make that up. And two, this is Sunnydale. How do
right?
you not,
Like,
no
if
matter
somebody
what
says they were attacked by like a demon puppet and it's Sunnydale, you're gonna, get out the kindling and prepare to have a puppet barbecue.
Oh yeah, like the minute someone told me, oh, I think that puppet attacked me, I'm like, build the pyre, let's throw it in.
We'll give it a Viking
We're not
funeral.
gonna mess around.
Like, burn that shit. Like, I'm not gonna get attacked by a puppet.
I'm not giving it a chance to behead me and kill me and take me. No. So yeah, but they don't believe her. They're like, oh, you said you were scared of puppets and all this, and I'm just thinking, this is not wise. This is why Xander and Willow would have died without Buffy. If you still don't believe things like puppets can run around attacking you, there's a problem. But they think that maybe it's, I forget what the boy's name is, but they think that it's maybe the boy who's the one like killing students. So they like follow him. And but then he gets his puppet taken away. Like, he gets Sid taken away in class because, again, this puppet is being just
inappropriate.
Like, inappropriate, but also just like talking back to the teacher. And you're thinking, what are you doing? What is your end game here, puppet? I thought you were supposed to be conspicuous, looking for monsters, and you're sitting here mouthing off to a teacher. So of course the teacher takes it away because she thinks it's the boy doing it. So she takes it away, she puts it in a closet. And then when the boy comes back to get him, you see that Sid's gone. So first I thought he walked away. Oh, he's walked away and he's trying to attack something. He's trying to kill something else.
Exactly.
But then no, you find out Xander took him. Like, Xander stole the puppet because I don't know why. Probably because they know that they assume that the boy has something to do with it. Xander still doesn't believe it's a puppet because now that he has Sid, he's just like banging Sid's head against a table and saying like, "See, Buffy, it's just wood," And I'm thinking, Xander, you're an idiot. This is so stupid. You either burn the puppet or you treat it with like dignity and reverence. Like,
don't piss off the demonic puppet. Maybe.
Don't piss off the demonic puppet. But then Buffy's out like searching for the boy or searching for something, and she ends up she goes backstage for the talent show, and she ends up finding him dead, and then his brain like falls from the roof. So something killed him and took his brain, but didn't eat his brain. They just left his brain. And Buffy, I love how grossed out she was. She's like, I'll never wash my hands enough. She's like, the brain. Like, oh yeah, I get that. And so now they're okay, it's not the boy, obviously, since he's dead and someone took his brain. So she thinks it's like the puppet now, which I would have been thinking from the beginning. Like, it's the puppet. Even if he's attached to the boy, he's using the boy somehow. Let's kill the puppet.
Yeah, let's kill the puppet and then kill the boy. Who cares?
Yeah,
the world has one less creepy puppet. Like,
yeah, exactly. And meanwhile, Sid is gone. Like, Xander loses Sid. It's in the library with them, and then now he's just gone. Which is like first tip off, evil puppet. Then Sid, the puppet, and Buffy fight each other, like backstage again. And this fight, I don't know, I think it lasts longer than I'm like, it's a puppet. Buffy would have easily just like,
I know.
One little whack and that puppet would have been splinters on the floor. But
yeah, she's fought like full-fledged giant vampire dudes.
Yeah, so It lasted way longer than it should. But she gets the upper hand, of course. And that's when you find out Sid's a good guy. And he was like a demon hunter who got cursed into being a puppet. And now he's searching for the rest of these demon things to kill them all so he can finally be free. And the curse can be over, and his soul can go rest. But when he's telling his story, it's just so gross because, like, he's looking at Buffy and he's like, "Oh, I didn't expect you for a Slayer. You're so young and nubile." And I'm just like, "This is so gross. It's so gross." I'm like, again, if he wanted to show that he was turned as a young dude, make him sound young or something.
Yeah, don't make him sound like a guy who's been smoking cigars his whole life.
Yeah, smoking cigars, hanging out in gin joints and hitting on all the dames, like, ew. And his little eyes like close as he's like looking at Buffy and he's like, like getting entranced by her nubileness and just gross. And Xander is there in the back, like kind of like nodding and then like smiling, like agreeing with him, which again is so gross. Like, I hate this so much.
Please stop. Please
stop. So then they're like, "Oh, he's good now." I still wouldn't have trusted him. They trusted him right away. I'd have been like, "I don't trust you." Like,
I'm still thinking pyre burn for you.
Yeah, I'm still thinking fire at the end of this, but
we'll see. With you for now.
Yeah.
So you reveal your true colors.
Mm-hmm. Plus, like, he's supposed to be the good guy, but he said he was working with the boy because he thought the boy was like smart and would help him, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I chose the wrong person or whatever." And it's like, you've been using this boy who's now dead, got his brain cut out, and he didn't care. Like, he didn't care at all. It was just more like, "Oh, I chose the wrong student to work with." It's like, that's not a good guy in my book. That's
right.
Like,
you got that kid killed and you're just like,
yeah, the kid's dead. He was helping you. I mean, it seemed like they were attached at the hip for at least the beginnings of the episode. So I just felt like it's a shitty thing, That's not a good person. If you don't even care that this guy who's been helping you closely when he didn't have to is dead, like, you belong on the fire.
Yeah. But hunters, for good measure, would have burned him on the fire after the episode. Been like, here's another way to set you free. Now your soul can rest.
Your soul may rest. Yeah, you're not coming back from Ash, I assume.
It's like the whole, like, I love Interview with the Vampire, but like Louis's whole complaint, like, cursed with immortality. It's like, there's always sunshine.
Stand in the sun.
Yes. Always gotta stand in the sun. Like,
yeah.
It's like, if it was like death becomes her, where no matter if you were in pieces or whatever, you're still alive, then I would be like, that sucks. But the fact that you can die at any time by just walking out in the sun, just like that puppet, you just go into a fire, get burned up, and you'll be done. You'll be done.
Like, I don't understand this complaint, like, like, I don't care. But yeah, I always felt kind of like Lestat in Interview with the Vampire, like Louis, always
still whining.
I felt the same way watching him, like, you're always whining and you're doing nothing about it. Go stand in the sun. You have a way out. So, so creepy puppet. So now they're working with the puppet and they're trying to figure out who this demon is, because I guess the demon can take human form, and it killed the boy because it thought the boy was smart and wanted his brain, wanted to eat like a smart brain. But then they find out that the boy had, I think, a brain tumor, is what they said. So it rejected the brain because the brain was damaged. So now this demon needs to find another brain to eat. And they're trying to figure out, like, oh, who's this demon? So Buffy and Sid go like demon scouting together. And again, gross part, they're sitting on like the rafters of the stage and just talking, and Buffy is being very, very nice to Sid, which I was like, you're being too nice to him. He doesn't deserve this. And he's just talking about how he knew this Slayer in the past, and he and this past Slayer had a thing, and then he like touches Buffy's leg.
Ugh.
And God, it's just so gross. I was thinking, just so inappropriate. And Buffy's just, again, being way too nice to him. I've been like, listen, little puppet. Poof, like pushed him off the rafters, like down onto the ground. No. But they don't find who the demon is. And then they're trying to like, who is it? Who could it be? Like, who would they go after? Who would they eat? And then you realize, oh wait, Giles is really smart. Like, it's going to go after Giles. So they know. They've also figured out that's probably a kid in the talent show, because everyone that's been killed has been like talent show people. So they know that. And side note, I kind of love how into the talent show Giles is. Not like into it, but he's like very kind of like serious about it, you know? Like, and I love that. I love seeing him out of his element doing things that he wouldn't normally do, you know, like leading this talent show and forming a actors circle or whatever. And it's just so cute. I love seeing Giles do un-Giles things, you know.
Giles fluff.
Yeah, Giles fluff. I love that. So we get that, and then the demon turns out to be this magician dude who you thought was just this like goofy, nerdy dude. No, it's actually a demon, and he gets Giles into this guillotine sort of thing. And I think this just shows how sort of distracted by the talent show Giles is, because he gets it willingly into this guillotine contraption, because the boy is like, I just need to make sure this works, you know, for my magic act. So Giles does it. I'm like, Giles, no, don't do this. Don't get around any sharp objects, anything that could kill you while a demon is still on the loose. And I feel he wouldn't. It's something he wouldn't do unless he was
normally. But he got caught up in the talent show fever.
Yeah, caught up in the talent show fever. And I get it, because I feel like I would be the same way. Like, I would complain and complain and complain, like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And then all of a sudden I'd be like, the show must go on! Line up, everyone, onto your places! You know? It takes over. It's like a fever. It's a rush. So he gets into this like brain guillotine thing, and he is rescued just in time by Buffy and Sid. And Buffy fights the demon, who now goes into like full demon form. He's no longer human looking. And Sid delivers the final blow with a knife. But before he kills it, Buffy's like, because they found out that like once Sid kills it, he actually dies. Like, she's like, when you kill it, you're not just gonna, you know, turn back into human, are you? You're gonna be dead. And he's like, yeah, my body's, you know, bones in a box. And I'm thinking, Buffy, why are you sad about this? You don't even know this little creepy dude that well. What is going on here? So he stabs the demon and he dies. And it's like, Buffy picks up his little body and she's all sad about it. And I would not have been that way. I'm like, he's dead.
I'd be like, let's burn it for good measure, just in case.
Let's just be sure.
Sure. I'm just going to help him out, just in case he's stuck still in this body. Yeah. We're just going to burn it.
We're going to help him out. Yeah, so
help him out.
It is kind of cute, because as she's holding this body, the curtain opens, and like there's the whole audience there, and you know, you have the guillotine, you have Giles like with an axe, you have a headless demon, you have Buffy holding this little puppet, you have Willow and Xander standing there, and then the whole audience is just staring, and then Snyder's like, I don't get it, you know.
Like it's an art performance piece or
like
something.
It's an art piece, yeah. He opened it up like beginning and end scene, you know. Yeah. So that was really cute. So I think maybe they put in her emotionalism about his death as a way to like sort of have this little like joke at the end. So that way I'm okay with it. Because otherwise it makes no sense. I'm like, Buffy.
Yeah. Otherwise, why would she care?
Yeah.
This creepy puppet.
There's no reason to care. And at the end, when the credits are rolling, you get this this scene of Buffy, Willow, and Xander doing their talent for the talent show, and it's just repeating this sort of Shakespeare. It's a Shakespeare line, and it's so funny because they act the same way. Like Buffy just acts like she's so over it, you know. Xander is just there like robot talking and going off like, I hated my mother, da 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 da, and Willow goes silent and runs off stage. So I think it's like the perfect way to end it with like an example of one of 3 ways how everyone who does not want to be on stage reacts.
Yep. Run, robot, or I don't care about this.
Yeah, I don't care about this at all, or just fear and leave. And we're like, I feel like we're like in a different category where it's like robot mixes with like, let's just do our own thing and go off and go. Yeah, I will never run off the stage.
I know, we're like that guy from Galaxy Quest. The show must go on.
Yes.
By Grabsaw's hammer.
I look, the show will go on. The stage will not beat me. It will not win.
Well, overall, I guess I give this 2 bloody stakes. I mean, it had some funny moments. I'm not going to give it a 0. Not my favorite episode. Would I watch it again? No, I'd probably just skip it. The creepy puppet is just... Maybe I should down it to 1 bloody steak. The more I think about it, the more... All right, 1 bloody steak. Final answer.
1 bloody steak. I'm going to give it 3 bloody steaks because I didn't like Sid. I didn't like... I felt... You know, because puppets creep me out so much that if they would have done the character of Sid differently, I would have liked it a lot better. Because, again, I would have automatically assumed that this puppet's evil. And then when I found out he's good, I've been like, okay, that's weird. Good, creepy puppet. You know, I'll go along with it. But as it was, they didn't make him seem good. They made him seem gross. They made him seem, again, heartless because he didn't care about the boy getting killed at all. So...
Selfish, narcissist puppet.
Yeah, it's like not good. I guess we'll call him just like neutral, like not even like neutral evil, neutral good, just like neutral in general. So I feel like it could have been a good episode. I feel like it could have been an episode I give like 5 or 6 stars if they had changed a few things, because I did like the talent show. I liked it, Giles, you know, just being in charge of the talent show and how cute it was to see his interactions with the students and everything. Got a few funny Cordelia moments because, you know, she was a singer and she could sing very well. So, but she went out there with, it was the first time we saw a little hint of like lack of confidence in Cordelia, and it was like, it was kind of endearing. So I liked that, but yeah, they just did the character of Sid so poorly. So I'm gonna give it 3 for potential. It just didn't reach it.
Yeah, I hear that. I would like to put my 1 bloody steak through Sid the puppet.
Yeah. You must die now.
My bloody steak must be used to murder that creepy little puppet. Yeah. Well, what's our next episode?
Our next episode is, I think it's Nightmares. It's either Nightmares or Out of Mind, Out of Sight. I like
one we like.
I like Out of Mind, Out of Sight. I think it's a really, really cool concept, and we get a little angel back, which is the nicest thing ever.
Which is an automatic bloody steak right there. Angel.
Yeah, he's been gone for so long. I remember when I first watched Buffy, and after the Angel episode, and then we didn't see him for a few episodes. I'm like, oh my god, is he gone?
Gone?
And then took him away forever. Like, this would be the worst show ever.
That's like the first time in Lord of the Rings I saw Legolas. I was like, please God, let him be in the rest of this movie.
I still remember.
It's the most beautiful elf I've ever seen.
And we saw it together, and Legolas comes on screen, and you literally rose out of your chair. Like, it was like a going towards the screen. You were this little bug, and he was the light. You were going towards him.
I know. I was like, oh.
Perfect.
Oh, my soulmate is an elf. I knew it all.
Is an elf. Weird elf. A stoic, pointy-eared elf who speaks in riddles with long, straight blonde hair.
Oh yeah. Perfect. Perfection.
Oh yeah. So it might be that episode. I'm thinking it's the Nightmares episode, though. I think it's that one. But I have to be honest, I have very little recollection of that episode. I don't remember much about it at all. So I watched it not too long ago, and it's like poof, gone. So yeah, that'll be an interesting review. But
that's our review of the puppet show. We've got 3 bloody steaks for you, 1 for me.
3 for me, 1 for you.
Feel free to skip if you're rewatching the Buffys.
It's not a necessary one, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that is it, and we will see you guys next time when we review either Nightmares or Out of Mind, Out of Sight. Bye.